Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It is JudiciousFire, and I am here with the top 10 attack heroes in Castle Clash. We're going to look at the top 10 attackers in this game. Please hit the subscribe button. We're almost up to 20k subs. It is a great thing to see. Let's get started with number 10. Our number 10 attacker in Castle Clash is Anubis. Putting Anubis at number 10 because he does a variety of things and all of them help the team to attack. Number 1, he clears troops, can clear up to 100 at a time. Number 2, he lowers the attack ability of the enemy, making your entire attack team more successful. He also does a nice job of doing damage against the enemy. He is not a one-shotter like he used to be. He's not that kind of an Anubis, but these days he does a nice job of allowing your other heroes to kill off the enemies on the base. I've got Anubis with a Dragon's Cover. Reflect and Deflect can really hurt him. That's not a problem with a Dragon's Cover or Wicked Armor. I go Dragon's Cover because I like to keep him alive with a lot of damage reduction. I think the longer he stays alive, the better. It is a good thing to have an instant skill activation on the man. Lower the attack of the enemy, kill off maybe up to 100 troops at a time. And that can happen with a Revitalize. Really great thing, especially for player versus player as well. Anubis can really weaken a team. I've got, as his alternative talent, he's one of the classic and greatest auto-proc heroes in this game. And that is made possible with an Empower. Stick for his insignia, stick a Wicked Armor on there, and all of a sudden you have a greater attack-boosted auto-procking Anubis, who is still shielded against Reflect and Deflect in this game. Pets, you can go a whole bunch of different ways with pets. I think a pet that provides a heal, I think can be very helpful, because while he has multiple lives, he has no healing. So I use our buddy Mutant Radiant Hawk, and Mutant Radiant Hawk gives damage reduction as well as giving him a constant and consistent healing process. You could do Rudolph Pet, you could do Fennec, you could do a Bublo, you could do a Mini Angie, you could do a Cute Kitsune, although the heals on Cute Kitsune are not going to be as generous as they are with Mutant Radiant Hawk. Find the mix of damage reduction as well as the heals on Radiant Hawk to be real nice for nubbins. For the equipment, I have a Holy Conviction. The healing that he does receive in gameplay will be increased, but more so he gets a greater damage reduction boost, and that can really help to keep him alive. And for his traits, I went all attack, and the reason I did was because I wanted to give Anubis enough attack ability that in some cases he's able to kill off heroes. Certainly not those with a damage cap, but other heroes he can take out 1 or 2 in a lost battlefield scenario, and certainly when attacking a base. Our number 9 attack hero in Castle Clash, it's going to be Phobos. Phobos, just like Anubis, has been a big star in a lot of these countdown videos. I looked at best support heroes, I looked at best defensive heroes, and now we're looking at attackers. Anubis and Phobos both made each of those lists. And we'll look at all the heroes that have made these lists at the end of this video. Phobos really has earned his place as one of the best in Castle Clash. He's a very tanky hero. He does a great job at reducing energy of the enemy. Does a great job of keeping them occupied, reducing their abilities, of in some cases silencing them, and also of deflecting damage in this game and causing it to go back at the attacker. So he does all these kinds of things. He can really help your team in an attack scenario. Having Phobos in there really shuts down the bad guys and allows your true hero-killing heroes to do their job well. He's a hero-weakening hero, and that is a valuable part of an attack team and definitely much needed. Phobos fits that bill. I've got him with 2 different kinds of builds. I've got him with a Sacred Light as well as an Empower. Now the Sacred Light would be my attack setup. Sacred Light is going to reduce the amount of damage that he reflects against the attacker, but a dead Phobos reflects nothing. So I want to give him some damage reduction, especially in the days of Dynamica. And that damage reduction will be good against one of those Dyna skill activations. Damage reduction is very nice against her. Phobos is going to be a tankier version of himself. In a defensive scenario, I think he's one of the great auto-proc heroes, just like Anubis is. I give him an Empower. I can then go with a Wicked Armor as his insignia. And now all of a sudden, I'm not reducing his deflect in any way. And you have that option. You have that opportunity. But if I'm going face-to-face and head-to-head, I want to give him some damage reduction and allow him to do all the other great things that he does other than just the deflect. I've got a Empower on him, so he is always generating energy. So it gives him a big health bonus. And also, it helps to keep that balance between hurting his deflect and helping his deflect. It helps to even it out a little bit with a Sacred Light. You could also do a True Piety. You could do a Soul Healer. And a Soul Healer is another one that's going to work very well with his skill. Give him extra abilities in combat, but not hurt his deflect. So it's a talent or insignia that I would definitely recommend for the man. Soul Healer is great on him. There is a ability that he has, 50% reflection of damage, and using something in talent or in insignia form like a Flame Guard, it will not stack, add, make that 50% better. Game set up, and I'm talking big picture here, general idea. Game set up that the highest level talent or piece of equipment, the highest level one will activate. And they're not going to add to one another. If you have a Sacred Light talent and a Sacred Light insignia, only the one will activate, the highest level one, and the other one will be effectively completely canceled in its abilities. You'll still get a little statistical bonus, blah, blah, blah. But, Drogo Pet will stack. Our pet's abilities will stack or add to the skill abilities of our heroes. And that's something that we don't see with a talent or insignia like a Flame Guard. But Drogo will add that reflect on top of the reflect that Phobos already has. So Drogo is probably my number one recommendation. It makes Phobos basically zero out on damage for parts of the battle. And the rest, he's just an awesome tank. I have the Sullen Serpent on here to reduce healing. Well, if you're using a Soul Healer and Drogo Pet, you wouldn't need this. But I have a little bit of a health reduction. I think it's also a great pet to use. So a Drogo, a Sullen Serpent, heck, an old school Rudolph too. Give him a healing ability. We look at the crests and insignias, the insignias and talents we talked about. I've got Holy Conviction on the man. Yeah, it does sacrifice a small part of his reflect, but again, a dead Phobos doesn't do anything other than cause flowers to grow. So I love the Holy Conviction on the man. And for his equipment, I have all dodge. And I know that it's odd, and I'm not going to recommend dodge. I think number one for him is going to be accuracy. So he hits the enemy with all the elements of his amazing skill qualities. But I got a double dodge on this guy, and the dodges came up, and you don't go over that, do you? No. So I was able to use, and Phobos is so great, I was able to use him still as a hero that is great for attacking, great for lowering the abilities of the enemy, still has a really high accuracy, just as through the upgrading process, but also stays alive a little bit longer and can be a little bit more disruptive in combat by being this kind of trickster that moves in and out. And also, and in conclusion, I've got a all accuracy on that Sullen Serpent. And that brings my Phobos' accuracy to 35,000 and his dodge to almost 18,000 with this build. So, fantastic Phobos, fantastic hero, number 9, highly recommend. Our number 8 hero on the top 10 attackers in Castle Clash Countdown is Rune Master. Rune Master made all 3 lists: best support heroes, best defensive heroes, and now also best attack heroes. Rune Master has a very complicated skill description, and it does so many things. Well, one of them is making your team absolute killers. He gives them a crit rate bonus to 6 random friendly heroes. Well, that's your team. And gives them a crit rate bonus of 60% every 4 out of 6 seconds. This alone justifies his existence, but in addition, he paralyzes the enemy, basically shutting him down. He has a damage cap. He's a wonderful tank, a great hero killer, all around one of the top heroes in the game of CC. I've got him built with a Dragon's cover. I think Reflect and Deflect can hurt him. A Dragon's cover or a Wicked Armor I would have on there somewhere. The other side is his defensive build. He's a wonderful auto proc hero like the other 2 heroes we've seen. And so I use him power for that. When I am attacking, I would go with the Dragon's cover to give him some damage reduction. And also, I have a Soul Healer on here, and I think it works really, really well. He's paralyzing. He's now reducing the healing of those that he's attacking. He's getting a big health boost and a crit resistance boost, making him effectively immune to crits. And it's a really nice pairing up. He's a hero that just drains the bad guys and then starts killing them off one at a time. I've got him with a mutant dire wolfling, and this is the pet that I typically run on Rune Master because it's like the one part of his amazing attack abilities. It's like the one part that's missing. You get this awesome energy regain reduction, and so you're hitting the bad guys in terms of their energy properties as well. And mutant dire wolfling does a really nice attack every couple of seconds, and it works very well with Rune's already fantastic abilities. If you want to give him some healing, I would give him, I think Rudolph is always going to be the best healing pet in the game, just because it does a really nice job at eliminating negative conditions in addition to the heal. You can do a mutant Radiant Hawk. You could do a even a mutant Brave Croc and make him all attack. Mutant Brave Croc is a great attack pet and pairs up very well with his already substantial critical abilities. I've got the Dire Wolf in here as just that pet that makes the whole thing a little bit sweeter. I've got a Holy Conviction on the guy. I still think it's the best enchantment in the game in terms of the majority of heroes. The majority of our heroes don't have damage caps and don't have invulnerability like certain heroes seem to do in this game, and they need some damage reduction. Rune's one of them. And for his traits, I've got all accuracy on the guy, and I think he is a hero that absolutely needs accuracy, and that's why I can run an attack kind of style pet, because I know that accuracy wise he's covered. He's hitting pretty much everybody, and those who he is not hitting, others certainly are, and he'll get his hits in just time. Rune Master, one of the best heroes, a hero that really rounds out any attack team, and one of our best attackers in CC. Our number 7 hero on the top 10 Castle Clash Attackers Countdown is Wallawalla. Old Man Walla made all 3 lists of best support heroes, best defensive heroes, and best attack heroes. Don't think any attack team is complete without a healer, and Walla is definitely the best healer in the game. He is also a great attack buffer, and he will make your team stronger. He will also take away the negative conditions that happen to our teammates as we attack the bad guys in battle. He is the foundation that helps to keep your attack team alive and well functioning. Walla is a defensive build kind of hero. He is a hero that if you're going to go attack, you have to keep in mind that the stronger you make him, the more susceptible to reflect and deflect he'll be in this game. If you go with a damage reduction build or a damage deflection build, he's not going to end up doing enough sustained damage against the enemy that you have to worry about reflect and deflect. So it's kind of a balance with the guy. I have a flame guard on him. It's old school talent for Walla, I guess old school by today's standards, but I still think it does a great job. It stops a certain amount of damage from ever happening, and that damage that would have happened goes back at the bad guys and hits them. And it works on Walla because he can't be silenced and can't be taken away by any kind of silencing effect. So it's good for Walla. I think a Sacred Light classic, wonderful. Give the guy a Sacred Light, talent, or insignia. I think a Dragon's Cover is also great, and Wicked Armor is great too. But have some kind of damage reduction and deflect worked in there if you're going straight Wicked Armor. Don't make this guy to be a hero killer. Allow him to make your other heroes hero killers. So I've got a Flame Guard on him, and I have a Wicked Armor. Now I can push attack a little bit more because I don't have to worry so much because he's not going to take as much in return. He is one of the great auto proc heroes, one of the great defensive heroes, and Empower is always wonderful. But if you're going to put him on your attack team and go hero versus hero, put a Wicked Armor on him and give him that little attack boost. Put a Soul Healer on him and have those great effects as we saw with the prior heroes. These things all help to keep Walla alive and functioning well. I have a Bellicose Bull on him. I have the Bull on him because Bull does a great attack. Bull does an area of effect attack. Bull increases the damage that the bad guys take when they're under the effect of its skill. With the exception of damage capped heroes, other heroes are going to take some really massive damage if they're under attack from your other heroes. And it's a nice supporting pet in that way, as well as attacking pet. It's also a pet that is always going to function. It is not reliant on being attacked or doing any attacking. Most of our pets are. And when you're using Walla on your attack team, he's going to be like the 5th or 6th hero that you put out on the board. He may not be under attack. He may not be attacking in that classic sense to make the pet operate. So I put a pet on him that is always going to be operating. Any kind of a healing pet is great. Allow something to heal Walla. And it's okay to have 2 healers on your team. They're the foundation that keep the other legs of the table, to keep that foundation strong. And classic mini Angie, Rudolph. We've got Fennec Pet. I think a Mutant Radiant Hawk would be great. And a Mutant Cute Kitsune. You can't give this guy enough dodge. Mutant Cute Kitsune gives extra dodge. It gives a dodge bonus. It provides a heal. Mutant Cute Kitsune would be a wonderful addition to Walla. I've got him with a Holy Conviction. His own healing process through his skill, and also the heals that he receives from others or from pets or from talents, that will be increased. His ability to heal others by his skill activation of healing will not be increased by Holy Conviction. It is personal only to the one who has the enchantment, and it won't heal others to a greater degree. And for our traits, we have all dodge. And if you get bonuses from like a cute Kitsune, and you can get Walla's dodge up to like, I'm going to say like 10,000. And you can do that by having some, even like 30, 40-50% dodges on a cute Kitsune, and then in combat, the cute Kitsune activates and gives a big dodge boost. You can get Walla up to the point that in most circumstances, he's not getting hit. And the hits that he takes are brief, and he's able to heal and be that pillar or that foundation that keeps your awesome attack team alive. Walla, one of the best. Old man Walla. And our number 6 best attack hero in Castle Clash, Axe Punisher. I needed to work in some base damaging heroes into this list because that's a huge part of attacking. And Axe Punisher, I'm really impressed. He's a new hero to Castle Clash, but he's one that I'm always going to be going to when it comes to base damage or doing damage to buildings in Castle Clash. He's a hero that can solo a base and do so rather quickly. He's a hero that you want to build to reduce damage and to be tanky and to live as long as possible. To use him to destroy buildings means that you don't have to have attack talents and attack enchantments and attack pets. You're going to be able to, just with his basic abilities, be able to smash up the buildings. That's fine. So you just want to make him tanky. And I have him with a Dragon's Cover. I think it's his best. He needs Reflect and Deflect mitigation in this game. He gets it with Dragon's Cover, also then gets a damage reduction. A Sacred Light is fantastic. In fact, that's my go-to insignia. I put a Dragon's Cover and a Sacred Light on the guy. So damage reduction, anything then that could get his health up if you can't get this damage reduction build. But anything that's going to make him tanky and help to keep him alive, put him out there and just have him solo a base and smash it to bits in 30 seconds or less. I have him with Cute Kitsune. I give this guy a lot of dodge because there's no reason for him to get hit in this game. So I want to add to that dodge. Cute Kitsune gives a big dodge boost to the hero to the hero team and to the group, as well as a nice heal. And that's all helpful for Axe Punisher. I've got a Energy Surge on the man. Okay, I have an Energy Surge because of its big dodge boost that it gives. And why have him get hit at all? Let's have him dodge if we can. And also, the energy recovery. Every time that the dodge activates, he gets a 55 energy recovery. 55 of his 100 total energy will be recovered there in his energy bar. That is constantly being triggered. And it allows him to activate his skill even when standing directly face to face with a gunslinger, even several gunslingers. He can have dozens of gunslinger copters hitting him simultaneously, and still he's going to be dropping his rain of fury all over the base, and you got your 100%. So that's really nice. And hey, Holy Conviction, you couldn't go wrong. Okay, I'm not saying one is better. I think both have their place, but Holy Conviction for this damage reduction would make him even tankier. For his hero assist system, the green, yellow, and red part of his display there. In the hero assist system, I want to boost his dodge as much as I possibly can. It's the way I try to help keep him alive. I have the 3 highest dodge heroes in the game, and no matter what their traits are or how you have them set up with talents, they still will have a really high dodge than they would naturally. And I have Levanica in there, I have Phantom King, and I have Ripper in there. And that has boosted his dodge in addition to everything else in this guy's build. It's boosted his dodge up to 28,000 dodge before he's even gone into combat. And then when he does go into combat, he gets a 30% dodge bonus on top of that. So you give him any kind of dodge and a tanky build, and he is going to make Guild Wars attacks, base rating, mana and gold collection, clearing the quest board, make these easy peasy, piece of cake. Thank you, Axe Punisher, one of the greats. And then number 5, attack hero in Castle Clash. It's going to be Rambard. Rambard made all 3 lists of support, defense, and now offense. He's one of the best, and that's why he's on these lists. Rambard is, I think, an essential part of an attack team. If you're going to have a healer like Wallawalla, who we discussed a moment ago, feel comfortable putting a great hero like Rambard beside him. Those 2 are going to help to keep the other 4 heroes alive. Rambard is not a healer like Walla. He has a healing capability, but it is only a small part of what he does. Need that Walla heal, but Rambard is going to make your whole team a tank. Is going to give them ability to reflect the damage that they're taking. It's going to make them stronger, tougher, badder versions of themselves. And that's what you need for hero killing. Also, he's going to provide the tremendously essential ability to revive the heroes when they die in combat. And having that ability to bring the dead back is something that really does make an attack team a deadly combination. I've got him with a true piety. That true piety can, in most cases, make him effectively invulnerable. It makes him much more tanky, able to fend off any kind of damage and undergo this constant healing process. It works very, very well with his skill. I think Sacred Light is probably his second best talent to have. That's why I have it in the insignia. He's also an awesome auto proc hero. In a defensive standpoint, you might want to try and empower on him. Sometimes an empower insignia or talent is a great thing to have alongside the true piety. So when you go out attacking, and if you get all frozen up or paralyzed or comatized or entangled and confined and all this whole list of garbage that happens to you, when these things happen, the empower at least allows him to keep generating energy. So in a moment that the freeze stops, he can get a skill activation in. And sometimes that can make all the difference. Now all of a sudden, part of your team comes back to life. So the empower is really nice. I'd put that probably as his 3rd best. So it goes, true piety, sacred light, empower for those times that you need it, specific to the time. I've got him with Cold Drake. Cold Drake, just like Bellicose Bull that I had on Walla, Cold Drake is always operating, and it does not require that the hero's getting attacked, and it doesn't require that the hero's attacking other heroes. It's just always going to be operating on a timer, and it's a really great attack pet, and it's a really great kind of supportive pet, in that it adds a little bit of a reflect, not much, but it can make a difference in combat. And because I'm putting Walla out there, I'm putting Rambard out there, often 5th or 6th hero on the board, it's important to have a pet that's kind of always operating. There are very few pets in this game that are always operating on a timer, and Cold Drake and Bellicose Bull of the new pets and Sullen Serpent are always operating. So we've got, for equipment, Holy Conviction. Give him more damage reduction. His own personal healing process will be made even better when his skill heal activation happens to himself. And for traits, we have all dodge. More dodge you can get on this guy, the better. I think second to that would probably be HP. But it's, I think, always better to try to avoid being hit than to build a hero that can withstand a lot of hits. So give him dodge. Give him a little bit of damage reduction, or that true piety, which works so great with his skill. And you're going to have somebody that you can rely on, and that makes your whole attack team stronger in combat. The number 4 best attacker in Castle Clash, it's going to be Dovekeeper. Dove does amazing kill strike damage against the enemy. And she can clear out anybody who doesn't have a damage cap. And she can be very effective at lowering the total health of those heroes with damaged caps over time because she's constantly spawning love doves and they fight at her side. Great at debuffing the enemy. Great hero killer. One of the ultimate hero killers in the game. I gotta tell you, and I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest with my Dove here. I use Dove in a couple specialty game modes. The talents that I have on Dove, please don't use these talents unless you're after certain specialty game modes. I have no talents or abilities on Dove that I can show you that I would recommend for an attack specific scenario. If I'm running attack and I want to go hero killing with Dove, and she is absolutely one of the best to do this with, you put an Unholy Pact on her, and then you put a Brute Force, or a Brute Force Unholy Pact. Sweet goodness, you start one-shotting everybody. Brute Force and a Vigorous Fury. Amazing. Get her critical rate up, and then her critical damage from crit strikes. You could give her, you can push crit on her. You can push crit damage as long as her critical ability or crit rate is high enough to actually make that work. So go with as much attack on her as possible. A War God. A Vampiric Grail, which offers a really nice attack boost as well as a healing process, which is something that Dove is lacking. My two, and I just... total transparency here. I have Sunder because I use her in Archdemon. I use her also in things like Lava Isle and this, that, and the other thing. Where DPS is part of the process. Against bosses, I still run boss battle. I still try to get high scores in boss battle. And she's going to need that. So she's got the Sunder. And the Empower, don't ever put Empower on Dovekeeper. When she auto-generates Love Doves because of the Empower, she puts out these weak Love Doves that don't really do much. And it allows the bad guy heroes to sit there and beat on the Love Doves, activate their skill, and snipe out all your heroes on the base. So it's suicidal in this game to have Empower on Dove. But I like to run Advanced Stage, fast times on HBM. And that's the reason for that. So do a lot of things with her, but make them all attack oriented. I found Fiery Comet is really great, and I found the new one, the disarming the hourglass one, also seems to be really nice on Dove. For pets, Dove is often the first hero that I'm dropping out on the board if I'm doing an attack scenario. Often in the other game modes that I use her, she's like the lead hero. And having the Mutant Sage Lioness, having that Mutant Sage Lioness on there makes all the difference. Mutant Sage Lioness activates when the hero is under direct attack, when the hero is attacked. And when you're putting Dove out there, you know that she's going to be the one getting attacked by the enemy. Now, all of a sudden, Mutant Sage Lioness activates, and you get an entangle. It's like a stoppage of the bad guys, and it hits them for 2.5 out of every 5 seconds. Also, your team, who you're now dropping out on the board, they are going to now be taking less damage in combat. For equipment, I might be running a Pyre Mage on her most time as a helper in combat for those like DPS modes. If I want to get her attack up, I don't think you can do much better than a Hyper Strength. I mean, it really, really adds the kiss of death to that Unholy Pact and Brute Force or Vigorous Fury kind of build. Just boosts her attack so much that she can hit into the 50-60 million range, no problem. She'll do that on her lunch break. And for equipment, I have her all attack because of DPS modes. her number one by leaps and bounds. Her best in traits are going to be accuracy. You've got to have accuracy on your dove. So if I'm going out and trying to kill with dove, I know she's going to have the attack for it. No problem. But she won't have the accuracy. I would have to put a pet on her that raises her accuracy if I go out hero killing. So give her accuracy if you want a hero killing dove. If you want a dove that you're going to take care of accuracy through a pet, then explore putting attack on her. Get her attack so high up that she kills off anybody just as like a mere formality. Boom, boom, boom. And then you're left with your damage capped heroes and you start beating on them. Done. Dove, she's a classic hero. She's always going to be on a top list when it comes to attackers. That's what she's built for. If you are running a dove that's defensive or that's got a bunch of dodge on it, explore, maybe going in a different direction. There are better heroes to carry your Doom Balloon in combat. Rambard would be certainly one of them. And dove should be used as a specialized tool, a scalpel, in the hands of a dexterous surgeon. That is what dove is. She is a surgeon. The number 3 best attacker in Castle Clash, it's going to be Zephyrica. Zephyrica is number 3 on the attack countdown because Zephyrica is a true hero killer. Has an amazing ability to remain alive. Has a healing process. It's like a one dragon army. And a really, really great tank and a really great attacker and hero killer in CC. Zeph is a hero that I must admit I don't have set up for direct hero killing. Just like my Dove Keeper, I've got Zeph set up for specific game modes and those places where he really shines for me in the game modes that I enjoy. I've got him with Asunder and I've got him with an Empower. Again, I wouldn't go out attacking directly head to head with a Zeph that's got either or of those. I would do the same kind of thing that I would do with a Dove Keeper. I would go with Unholy Pact on the man, but keep in mind that is not going to change his true damage. It's going to only affect his Whirlwind. But if you're going to be doing head-to-head hero fighting, that can be very substantial. Go with a Brute Force on the man. Give him a critical ability in some way. Go with a War God. Go with a Vampiric Grail. Go with a Fiery Comet. I think I have that in Insignia form right now. Wonderful. Anybody who's using stealth around you isn't for very long. And then they're out. It also debuffs the enemy. Fantastic. Zeph really does a nice job at hero killing, but if he's helped by a great team, he just becomes a better version of himself. Also think about a soul healer, great to reduce the healing ability of the enemy. And think about anything that is going to help him in terms of staying away from Bloody Marys and Valiant Saints and Massacres. They are not as prevalent in the game as one might think, but when you see him, keep in mind that Zeph's damage cap can be broken currently by those 3 heroes, as well as a Dynamica. So you got to worry about that to a certain degree. I really got to give it to Spectre's Instinct. It's my favorite enchantment on Zeph. I urge you to try out the ability of Spectre's Instinct on a really good Zeph defensively as well as offensively. It does a really nice pairing with his ability, his skill ability, and it really shuts down the bad guys quickly. I think also a Victory Lunge is great. It's going to lower his damage cap as well as his ability to take damage from a successful attack, as well as give him a little bit extra reflect, as well as boost his attack. We've got so many different enchantments these days. Really anything on Zeph is going to be beneficial. It's really not what you're choosing for Zeph, it's how well you're utilizing the guy. As far as his traits go, you got to have accuracy on the guy. He is a hero killing hero. And without accuracy, he's just dancing around. Gotta have accuracy. And if you don't get it through this trait system, you can get it much more easily and abundantly and more cheaply in terms of gem expenditure through a pet. Our pets give monstrous boosts to the attributes of our heroes, more so than their own trait system. So use those pets and their abilities and put a pet on him that's going to boost accuracy if you don't have enough already through his traits. I have Brave Croc. It's my go-to pet on Zeph. Zeph never leaves the garage without Brave Croc at his side. It works so well with his abilities. It works so well as an attacking pet. It really makes Zeph even more dangerous hero killer. Zephyrica, one of the great dragons in CC, and one of the great hero killers. And our number 2 best attacker in Castle Clash, it's going to be Minotaur Chieftain. Chief of the Minnows. Minnow is about the only hero in Castle Clash that can make the claim to fame that he can one-shot somebody's base. As long as it's removed of its guardian troops, and it's been prepared for Minnow's appearance, the base is done. One skill activation is really all it takes. Minnows come a long way, and as our heroes continue to be upgraded and to be strengthened in this game, Minnow gets stronger and stronger. I remember about even as little back as maybe 6 to 8 months ago, I was running an Unholy Pact on my Minnow, and he would always one-shot a base, but he would often die during that hit. I found that Minnow, we can kind of jack him up attack-wise in so many ways in this game now with all the upgrades in this process, that something like a Wicked Armor is probably much better suited to the man. He gets nearly as much attack, and it's certainly enough to take care of the bases in this game. But our buildings are made of sand, our heroes are made of steel. And base goes away just like that, leaving 6 heroes that are unharmed. You just give him a Wicked Armor. And also in things like a Dungeons and like the Insane 8 series, that Wicked Armor, if you're using a Minnow, he can get multiple skill activations and he can stay alive. And he won't die after one skill activation. And he'll hit 3, 4, 5 times before he finally gives out. So I think that Wicked Armor is probably his best talent these days. I also have an Iron Will. And Iron Will gives a 200% attack bonus. Second only to Unholy Pact, and also more attack, an immunity to stun, fear, energy reduction, all that bad stuff. If you're going out raiding and you want to make things real quick and just boom, boom, boom with a Minnow, investigate Iron Will, and you'll see that all the bad stuff that happens to heroes when they go out on the board, most of them that harm Minnow are negated during those first 27 seconds. And friend, with a Minnow, it doesn't take 27 seconds. So you're certainly going to get the attack bonus for that whole time. No matter which attack talent you choose, you're going to have to work a Revitalize in there somewhere. So if Revitalize happens to be your talent, that's certainly fine. But I use Revitalize only in insignia form in this game. Just the way that Castle Clash figures attack structures, and that's a video for another time. But make sure you have a Revite on him somewhere so he can immediately activate with the first thing that he touches. He has to actually make contact with something and hit it. So he won't auto proc, but he will automatically activate his skill once he makes contact with any enemy structure or any enemy hero or guardian. We've got a pet on him. It's my go-to pet. It's the only pet I put on Minnow. I don't care where Minnows go. Minnow could go to the shopping mall. I'm going to have Drogo Pet on him. Drogo Pet does all the great things that I want a pet to do for Minnow. Drogo gives a big attack boost. kind of attack boost of, it's 100%, kind of attack boost that is only second to Punching Box. Punching Box will give a greater attack boost to Minnow, but Punching Box has the nasty habit of doing area of effect damage around Minnow. And as you put Minnow out on the board and he walks towards a building, Punching Box will destroy the building and basically not allow Minnow to actually hit anything. So I dropped Punching Box a long time ago, and I took the second best attack booster in the form of Drogo. So it makes Minnow even more of a smasher, and has the great ability to provide 65% damage reflection for 4 out of 7 seconds. So for those first 4 seconds that you drop Minnow out on the board, he will be taking essentially 65% less damage. So he'll get the opportunity to actually hit a building in, say, a Guild Wars scenario and not be turned to liquid paste. Drogo is amazing and a great helper in this game. For equipment, I give him a hyper strength, boost his attack. For traits, I give the guy all attack. Get his attack up as much as you can. Give him an attack boost. Give him an attack talent ability. Give him a revitalize, so all he has to do is touch something and it's bye-bye base. And make sure to get rid of your Guardian troops. And it should be said that there is Stealth Minnow. I cannot go without saying Stealth Minnow is still a great option in this game. If Minnow's health goes below approximately 30%, Stealth will activate, giving him a huge attack boost, allowing him to run towards a building, hit something, boom, smash. You use a low-level Tree Antar, low-level in skill, and it will bring a dead Minnow back to life with a health that is below the stealth operating threshold. And when Minnow is revived, he is already in stealth and will immediately hit a building, and it's bye-bye base. Certainly something to try. Minnow, one of the best. Thank you, Minnow. And the number 1 attack hero in Castle Clash, it's going to be Dynamica. I will give Dynamica number 1 in terms of his ability to kill heroes. Number 1 hero killer. And I will also put him very high in terms of his ability to do building or base damage, if you choose as his pet Doom Balloon. A Dynamica carrying a Doom Balloon can essentially solo any base in this game. So you can 100% a base in 2 different ways with Dyna. Head-to-head hero fighting or base damage. Dyna, this guy is set up for head-to-head hero fighting. This is the guy I use to kill off other heroes in this game. And that can be achieved a variety of different ways. I will just say this. I've done Dynamica videos specific on how to build this guy. Somewhere in the equation, talent, insignia, enchantment, even the pets you choose, somewhere in this equation, you gotta have some damage reduction. You've got to. Yeah, he's got a damage cap, but the damage cap only activates when his health drops below halfway. That means that you can kill Dynamicas in this game if you have a hero that does a 1 strike, 1 hit, 1 shot. That's substantial enough to actually zero him out on health. And that can be achieved with certain Dovekeeper builds, and it can be achieved very easily with a Bogeyman in Punching Box with some nice accuracy and maybe an Unholy Pact and a Revitalize. Boom, done. Dynamic is gone. Give him some damage reduction and you won't be sorry. So somewhere in the build, have damage reduction, and then you don't have to worry about that. And you can't get sniped out in this game. And your Dynamica will do the sniping against others. So don't worry about pushing his attack so hard that it comes at the cost of his own life. Give him damage reduction and don't think twice about it. I've got Dragon's Cover. for me right now, and my way of building Dyna changes over time, but for me right now, Dragon's Cover is my favorite because it takes care of the damage reduction that we were talking about, and it prevents reflect and deflect in this game from killing him. That can happen. He is very, very susceptible to that. Takes care of both functions. Done. Now all of a sudden he's got a seatbelt and an airbag. I know it's smooth sailing after this. For other talents or insignias, I might go out there with right now I have him with an Empower because he's one of the great auto proc heroes. Also great for getting his health up and his energy production. A Sacred Light is one of the great talents and insignias for the guy. A Soul Healer is really, really great. If you want to go straight hero killing and do so much max damage on head-to-head fighting that you just snipe people out, and an Holy Pact will work wonderfully. That's a hero sniping talent or insignia for Dyna. But without something like a Dragon's Cover, be worried about the reflect and deflect. And also be worried about the fact that he might not have damage reduction. So this is why I'm constantly just using the Dragon's Cover and then building other things around that. He does very well with crit. He can do very well with something like a Brute Force as long as his critical rate is high enough. He does very well with a Vigorous Fury. He does very well with a Fiery Comet. Does very well with a variety of attack talents. They all help him and benefit him. He is a dragon that doesn't really have limitations on how he can be built. So all of these are great functioning talents and insignias when you want to do head-to-head hero fighting. I've got him with Sullen Serpent. Now all of a sudden we're reducing the healing capability of the bad guys. Sullen Serpent is also a pet, one of only 3 mutant and super pets that is constantly activating just based on a timer and can't be stopped. So Sullen Serpent is really, really nice on Dyna and to really make him the ultimate hero killing tool. He does the damage, but it isn't necessarily so much that it one-shots the enemy. Don't let him heal in between skill activations. Something like Sullen Serpent or a Soul Healer in talent or insignia will stop the enemy from healing second round of skill activations, and it's lights out. For equipment, because I already have damage reduction on the guy through Dragon's Cover, I experiment with different enchantments. I like Spectral Hold. I like Spectre's Instinct on the guy. I like Victory Lunge for its ability to provide a little bit of reflect as well as extra attack. I love Hyper Strength on him for just a huge attack boost that it gives. There's a lot of great enchantments for Dynamica. But if I don't have a Dragon's Cover or a Sacred Light on him, then I'm going to have a Holy Conviction. And that's really a great way to ensure that your Dyna doesn't get one-shotted in this game by a tricky Castle Clasher. So for our equipment and traits, I've got all accuracy. Somewhere on here, you've got to push accuracy, either through his own trait system, through his relic trait system, or through the pet trait system. You got to have some accuracy on here. The more the better. I don't think you can give the guy enough accuracy. Let him hit all the heroes in the game. That's what he's designed to do. He's designed to kill heroes. And something like that Sullen Serpent is really, really nice. You could also run a Brave Croc while speaking of pets, and you can always run a Doom Balloon combination if you just want to smash up the buildings. In his hero relic system, it's the way I like to run it. He's got super, super high attack already. Like, I get his attack the way I build him, and with the pets I choose for him, I can get his attack to 130,000. But what's he missing? He's missing a little bit of crit, and he's missing some crit damage. So I typically run in my Dyna the following 3 heroes. I run Heartbreaker, who provides the greatest critical damage boost of any hero in the hero relic system, regardless of what her traits are, how you have her built. And I have a Demogorgon, who provides the highest crit rate boost of any hero, regardless of how you have him built. And I have Valen in there, who provides an near equally high crit rate bonus to whatever epic hero you happen to use in the hero relic system. All three of those together, it gives Dyna 130 plus thousand attack and a crit rate of 4,500, 5,000. That's tremendous. And crit damage, around like 10, 12k. So sweet goodness, anybody that he's attacking gets turned to confetti. It looks like a party cake after the party. So he is an ultimate hero killer. He made two lists, one of our best defensive heroes, one of our best offensive heroes. Number one attacker in the game. To take us out, let's review those heroes quickly that made all these different lists. Anubis made best support, defense, and offense, all three lists. Phobos made all three lists. Rune Master made all three lists. Wallawalla made all three lists. Rambard made all three lists. Zeph made two lists. And Dyna made two lists. So you think about those heroes in this game and the kind of teams that we build in this game and how really game-changing each one of those heroes has been to the Castle Clash landscape. It's always a great pleasure looking at these top 10 hero countdowns. Top 10 attackers is another great pleasure. Always love the head-to-head and always love the Guild Wars. I hope CC is treating you well, and happy clashing. All right, bye-bye.